Hi all, welcome to this Team of the Week 25 predictions, coming up to the halfway stage nearly for Team of the Week. Some not exciting cards to look forward to this week, a bit flat I feel, but wouldn't be surprised if it suddenly gets juiced up a little bit better than expected. So if you can smash the likes would be awesome, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at GIsLegend, all links are down below for posts on the channel, and social media links as always. Remember to hit that notification bell so you know when uploads are up on the channel, would be massively appreciated, and all info as always is in the overlay, if you can't always understand me of course. But we start off with Strakoza, who made 3 saves and kept a clean sheet for Lazio. Someone from the Lazio Roma game will feature. The only downside is I still cannot find Gazzetta ratings for the game, but Strakoza across the board had like the best rating in the match, which I would assume then must mean that he's maybe been given a very good rating by Gazzetta. They've just not published it. I would assume as long as he's got about say a 7.5, I'd fancy his chances of happening. Trent Alexander-Arnold, second in form, looks inbound for a hat-trick of assists and a clean sheet. Very nice card actually, I think, if it does happen. Like obviously Van Dijk could happen, Mane, they ran right in the 5-0 victory. Obviously the Everton game might not produce an inform for Liverpool, it may for Everton in the form of Keane, but or someone else from that game, but I would say Trent Alexander-Arnold looks like a good strong shout for our first defender, and will be a very appealing shout at that. Just to say with Strakoza, he would be a second in form as well. Fabian Schär, a goal and a clean sheet for Newcastle. This is obviously the midweek game because the 2-0 loss against West Ham isn't a factor. So this is what you might find, a few midweek games showing a few informs. So like the Wednesday night games for example, it will make it a little bit more interesting to see who maybe gets in, but I feel it will boost up the team of the week due to it. But Lenglet got a clean sheet for Barcelona in El Clasico. He also got a very impressive rating across the board. Now for what I'm seeing, Rakitic and Roberto are the other 2 candidates, and I wouldn't be surprised if either make it over Lenglet, but I feel Lenglet might just get the nod for informs. They might do Rakitic just to juice up the team of the week. I wouldn't be surprised, same with Sergio Roberto, but one of them's getting in. It's a case of which one. But Lenglet's card would actually probably be quite nice and cheap. Bergwijn in form looks inbound for him. He's came close a few times. Position change to a right wing. 2 goals for him. Just a pity he wasn't playing left wing in the game. Then you'd have a front 3 special of PSV of Bergwijn, De Jong and Lozano. But it's just a pity that, because obviously the UCL cards in 81, you'd kind of hope the inform would go to an 84, then it would be even more appealing. But 83, not exactly going to knock it, and will be probably fairly cheap, I would imagine, from an 83 context. Giovinco been doing damage already in the Saudi League, and I think an inform looks inbound for him. He got himself 2 goals, he's been close a couple of weeks already, which is kind of showing how lethal he has been in the Saudi League for Al Hilal, and I think this week it's going to be very difficult to ignore him. And 2 right as well. I think he also could be fairly cheap in all contexts, from a want to watch and an inform context. Mkhitaryan, 1 goal, 2 assists. Ozil got 1 assist and 1 goal in the game as well in the 5-1 victory, but I feel Mkhitaryan the most strongest shout, and obviously it would just go slightly under his Europa League live card, which I no longer have. I chucked in an SBC not so long ago, wasn't exactly using them anymore, so it's like good riddance almost. Fovan, 1 goal and 1 assist, very impressive rating across the board as well for Marseille in their 2-0 victory over St Etienne. Like Legun players, I was kind of struggling a little bit this week, but Fovan just kind of looked impressive, and this will go in line with his SBC card. His striker, obviously his 86 is a striker, and 87 will be a right mid, along with the live, his SBC card. But if Fovan doesn't get in, I wouldn't be surprised, but I feel like he's done enough looking at all the stats, and I was watching the game anyway, so I feel Fovan's done more than enough to merit an inform. Fekir, 1 goal, 2 assists for Lyon, and Dembele got 2 goals in the game, so a second inform could happen for him. But I think Fekir may just be the one that gets nod. Usually if you're getting free contributions in a game, that should be kind of strong enough to get you into Team of the Week, regardless of kind of like ratings, positions, unless something drastically goes against. Like maybe like if you've just had one like last week or quite recently. But I quite fancy him. Quagliarella, 2 goals and an 8 on Gazzetta. Also to say Gomez got 1 goal and an 8 on Gazzetta, but Quagliarella, an 88 rated card of him could be absolutely godly. Like at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't happen. Just with the amount of strikers this week getting 2 and 3 goal contributions, and who else may get in. But if you want to kind of juice up the Team of the Week, Quagliarella's kind of there to be done, and it will be actually quite a nice card. Lukaku, 2 goals in the 2 games that he played over the last week, 2 against Crystal Palace and then 2 in the game against Southampton. Should happen. If not, I'd be pleasantly surprised actually. And it looks like maybe the highest rated card for Team of the Week, 25. Morata, 2 goals for him against Real Sociedad. Looks like our second one to watch to happen, which could be making him a little bit more usable. I think a few expected him to be a bit more usable by this point, but with informs, but it's not been the case, and looks like an inform for him. Then Andreas Pereira, 1 goal, 1 assist in the victory against Southampton. He also will get a position change to a centre mid, so that will make him an even tastier card actually. So kind of probably go in line with Fred nearly for stats in some areas, but he's well deserved for his inform, and looks like the second Manchester United inform of the week. Matt Ryan, 4 saves and a clean sheet for Brighton in their crucial victory against Huddersfield. I've kind of really clutching at straws here. Goalkeepers are very, very difficult this week. There's not many standing out, and you're almost having to think who really can get in from a goalkeeping perspective. But also due to the nature of the game, I think Ryan might get the nod. I wouldn't be surprised if Shane Duffy actually happened as well for a second inform. He was very impressive in that game. I think it was like 11 clearances he made. Van Persie got a hat-trick for Feyenoord in their 4-0 victory over Emmen, and I would say unless he's getting a flashback SBC, I can't see past this inform. Like, unless he's getting one in the next week or so, I cannot see. Like, if he doesn't get an inform, we know why he's not getting an inform. Zubair, just after having his foot swap card, is looking and bound for an inform. 2 goals, 1 assist and a position change as well. So the left wing back foot swap. His inform will now be at left mid, because that's where he played. He ran riot in the Stuttgart 5-1 victory. Won't be the most appealing card, but he has deserved it regardless. Klosterman, inform for him, potentially in the form of a goal and a clean sheet, and this was for Leipzig, keeping the pressure on in the European hunt, as it were, and he's been due a couple of times, so I think he might get the nod this week. Quintero, MLS started back up, and he got himself 1 goal and 2 assists. MLS could get a few options actually, and especially in midfield for what I've seen, like Bradley for example, so I wouldn't be surprised if Quintero gets knocked off, but he'd be a discard inform and actually pretty decent for MLS strikers. Ovalar got himself a hat-trick for Millonarios in the Colombian league, and he's deserved his inform because he's got himself a hat-trick. Fair play to the guy. Doesn't matter what division you're in, you've bagged a hat-trick. It's like, there's not too many this week, but he's more than deserved his spot. Like, but saying that, we've seen that a few times this FIFA where you've got yourself an inform, hasn't led to an inform, I'm afraid. Ji Dong Wong Ji, who I've seen different variations of how his name is broken up, but he got himself 2 goals for Augsburg in their victory over Dortmund, hampering their title credentials. Kobel made 7 saves but didn't keep a clean sheet, so, but Ji Dong Wong looks the strongest shout. Madison, 2 goals, 2 assists for Peterborough in their 4-2 victory, and this could be a nice cam actually. Twamba got himself a hat-trick, bagging himself hopefully an informed slot for this week. Won't be the most appealing card in the world, but deserved regardless. And Orgel looks at our silver inform for the week with himself bagging a hat-trick, and he now plays in Turkey, so expect Wolfsberger badge to change. As I said, for So with top possible, we said Van Dijk for 2 goals and clean sheet, Udovic for 1 goal, 2 assists, Ajayi for 2 goals, Gylfi Sigurdsson for 2 goals, Ozil for 1 goal, 1 assist, Alex Teixeira for 2 goals, Bradley for 2 goals, Ban for 2 goals and 1 assist, Boyd for 1 goal and 2 assists, but Ogil's got the nod on that. Odegaard for 2 assists, Horn for 4 saves and a clean sheet, Kobo for 7 saves, Bamford for 2 goals, Alioski for a goal and a clean sheet, Jota and Jimenez for 1 goal, 1 assist, Duffy a clean sheet, Sergio Roberto a goal and an assist and a clean sheet, Rakitic a goal, Raman 1 goal, 1 assist, Kwanaki for 2 goals, same for Lewandowski and De Boer and Edmilson, Ulmer for 1 goal and clean sheet, Clark Harris for a hat-trick, Lammers 2 goal, 1 assist, Kabak 2 goals, Ferreira 1 goal, 1 assist, Chunga and for 9 saves and a clean sheet, Kota for 7 saves, Stuani for 2 goals, Gomez for 1 goal and an 8 on Gazzetta, and Tony Marashiel for a hat-trick of assists. So plenty to consider for this week. Let me know in the comments down below who you fancy for and inform for this week. Smash the like as always, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter, G is a legend, and I will catch you all later.